All right, 2-2 multiplying polynomials. So it's honestly just distribution with more than one term. There's three ways of doing it. You can either multiply horizontally, multiply vertically, or do the box method. I personally think box method is honestly the best way of doing these, but there's actually more than one way. Honestly, whichever one you prefer is perfectly fine. But personally, the box method is the best method to use. Yes, question. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, no, get out. Don't be lazy. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to the practicing. So find the product. Now, there's more than one ways to do this. It just depends on what method you prefer. So this is the long method of when you guys learned it the very first time. Is when you do distribution, you're gonna take negative 6y cubed and you're gonna multiply to every term. So 8y squared negative 6y cubed times 7y negative 6y cubed times negative 4. So this is the long way of doing it. And you don't have to do it this way, but yes, Raj.
And just like divide by negative 6y.
Divide.
No, take away.
No, you have to do distribution first. Take away, you're multiplying. Okay, so we're gonna multiply. Negative 6 times times positive 8 will give us what's 6 times 8? Negative 6 times 8. Negative 48. Y cubed times y squared is y to the fifth. Remember, when you're multiplying with a common base, you add the exponent. So y third times y squared is y to the fifth. Negative 6 times 7 is negative 42. y cubed times y, there's an imaginary 1. It'll give you y to the fourth. And then the very last one, negative 6 times negative 4 gives us positive 24. And then y cubed does not have nothing to multiply, so we just keep it along with it. Please turn off your phones. No, sorry.
Your alerts.
Put it on silent, please. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Huh? That's the long method. Okay, so here's a short method of doing it. Number 2, when you do distribution for the short method, you just multiply across. So negative 8 times 7 gives us negative 56. A times a squared gives us a to the power of negative 8 times negative 6, positive 42. I'm sorry, 48. Sorry, my apologies. And then a times a will give us a squared. Then negative 8 times positive 1 is just negative 8. And then a times there's nothing to multiply, so we just leave it. You just bring it along with it. So that would be your final answer. Negative 56a cubed plus 48a squared minus 8a. You could pick whichever method you want, whether it's the long way or the shorthand way. But either way, you'll get to the right answer in the very end. Okay. Number 3, simplify the product using distributive property. We're not going to do distributive property because that's just a long way of doing it. So we're gonna do the shorthand, which is honestly pretty straightforward. You just have to create a box. And you could put the terms in any direction, whether it's the top or on the left hand side. But personally, I always put the left hand one on the top. So a minus 3. And then on the left, you're gonna write a minus 6. But they're interchangeable. It doesn't matter which one goes first, you'll still get the same answer. And then this is gonna be a 2 by 2 because there's 2 terms in both of them. And then the only thing you have to do is just multiply as you go through the intersection. So for example, this little box right here is a times a, which is what? A squared.
No, we put the squares in math. What is the problem?
That's not a.
Okay, this little quadrant is -3 times a, which is just -3a. A times -6, -6a. And then -3 times -6 is positive 18.
So,
Now, the only thing left for you to do is write them in standard form. So you're gonna write a squared first, then either write -6a or -3a. It doesn't matter because when you combine them, you'll end up getting the sum, and then positive 18 on the very back. So this goes first, this goes last. These two are interchangeable, so it doesn't matter which one you write first, because when you combine them, you get the same answer. So the only thing you have to do now is just combine like terms. So a squared, -6a minus 3a is -9a plus 18. That would be your final answer for this problem. Does anyone have any questions?
I don't know what the emergent.
Okay, let's go to number 4. We're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna do the Punnett square. What's your question?
Probably just the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It is the same one. Why is that? Let me look it up online. Hold on. Why is this the same problem? I'd rather get the one that's on the homework, so that way you'll know what it looks like. So give me a quick second.
Already done.
No, I do that in the night.
All right, so here's a different one. So instead of a minus 3, minus 6, a minus 4, a minus 7. So now we're just gonna do the box again. A minus 4, a minus 7. And we're just gonna multiply. Eventually you'll start to see the pattern. A times a is a squared. A times -7, which is the bottom left hand, is -7a. A times -4, -4a. And then -4 times -7 gives us 28. So the only step you have to do now is go from top to bottom right. So a squared minus 7a minus 4a plus 28. And then just combine like terms. Negative 7a and negative 4a makes negative 11a. And that would be your final answer for number 4.
Good job.
All right, does anyone have any questions? Seems pretty not too bad, seems pretty good. Okay, let's go to number 5. Do the same thing, just more practice. The reason why we're practicing is because you do not want to make the easy mistakes on the easy problems, because these are the easy problems. X plus 5, x plus 6. So x times x gives us x squared, x times 6 is 6x, x times 5 is 5x, 5 times 6 is 30. But if you need help with multiplication, just use calculator. So then the very last step is write in standard form, x squared plus 6x plus 5x plus 30. Combine like terms, x squared plus 11x plus 30. And you just did multiplications with 2 binomials. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Okay, let's go to number 6. So simplify the product using the distributive property. We're just gonna do the box method again. So it's same thing. The only difference is that we have a number in front of the very first term, but it doesn't change anything. We're just gonna do the same steps no matter what. So we have 3v minus 3, v plus 5. So 3v times v gives us 3v squared. If you want, you can put the imaginary 1 in the front so you know it's 3 times 1, and that's why it's 3. And then v times v is just v squared. Remember, anytime you multiply itself, you can rewrite it as an exponent by putting the 2 on top. So 1v times negative 3 is negative 3v. 3v times 5 is 15v. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Oh, it is negative 15. Okay, so now you just have to write it in standard form. So going from the top left to the bottom right. So it'll be 3v squared minus 3v plus 15v minus 15. Now remember, these don't matter which one you write first, because when you combine them, you end up getting the same answer at the very end. So 3v squared, negative 3v plus 15v is positive 12v, and then negative 15 just goes along for the ride, and you just drop it down. Does anyone have any questions so far? Because we're almost done, so it's not too bad. Number 7. This is pretty much the exact same thing. The only difference is the number of squares you're gonna have. So for example, this one right here is a 2 by 2 in terms of the squares, but in this case, this one's gonna be a 2 by 3. So we're gonna do the same thing. So y plus 2, 3y squared, 5, oops, sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Y plus 2, 3y squared, 5y and then -2. So this is a 2/3. Okay, so now we're just gonna fill it in. 3y squared times y is 3y cubed. 3y squared times 2, 6y squared. 5y times y, 5y squared. 5y times 2 is 10y. -2 times y, -2y, very good. And then -2 times +2, -4. So much like the previous one, we're gonna start here and then we can write these in interchangeable because anyway, either way you write it, you're gonna have to combine like terms. So we're gonna start with 3y cubed, and then we'll go 6y squared, 5y squared. And then 10y minus 2y. So positive 10y minus 2y. And then the very last term is -4. You should color code these. It makes it a lot easier when you're trying to, redo these or do it on the test or your quiz this week. So it's easier on the eye, so that way you know what to combine. So there's nothing to combine with 3y cubed, so that stays. But 6y squared and 5y squared combines to 11y squared. Positive 10y minus 2y is positive 8y, and then the -4 just comes on down. And then this would be your final answer that you would plug into Savas to get credit for it. So it's not too difficult. It is a little bit tedious, but it's not impossible to do. Especially once you know how to multiply. Which you should have all learned how to do in Math 1 last year. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, last problem. It's another practice one. It's another 2x3. So it's just another problem we're just gonna do. So just do the box method. It makes it easier. (3x², 2x, -5). It's another 2x3. Okay, so x times 3x², 3x cubed, right? Because x times x² is x cubed. 3x² times 3 is 9x². The 3 and the 3 multiply. 2x times x squared, very good. 2x². 3 times 2x is 6x. X times -5, -5x. And then last but not least, -5 times 3 is -15. And now you're just gonna have to rewrite it. I'm gonna color code it. So 3x², 9x², 2x². Now they're both positive, so that's why I'm writing the plus sign. So since they're both positive, I'm gonna write the plus sign. And then 6x, -5x. So plus 6x because it's positive, but I'm gonna write -5x because it is negative. So instead of plus, I'm gonna write minus. So be very careful. And the same thing for the last term, it's -15. So instead of writing plus 15, it's gonna be -15. So we have 3x². When we combine like terms, simplify. 9x² and 2x² makes 11x². And then 6x minus 5x, which is just 1x. And then -15 just comes down. And that would be your final answer. But, oh, you're right, it is cubed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're 100% correct, Adam, thank you.
Yeah.
It is cubed, not squared. Do not make the mistake that I did, so. Okay. Great.